Welcome back. Today, I'm going to share with you my step-by-step approach to painting a portrait that beautifully captures the warmth and glow of sunlight. We'll explore how to create a natural, vibrant atmosphere, something that can feel tricky but is deeply rewarding once you master it. Our subject today is a young woman gently turned to the side, softly illuminated by golden sunlight streaming from the top right corner. She's holding a delicate flower, adding an elegant touch and vibrant focal point to our composition. Painting a subject interacting with natural elements like flowers can really enhance the storytelling and emotional depth of your artwork. In the sketch phase, before diving into any painting details, I first break down the scene into basic large shapes. By squinting slightly at my reference photo, I simplify what I see into clear, distinct areas of light and shadow. I'll start by carefully painting the Terminator line, the area on her face where the light transitions into shadow. I'm mixing transparent oxide red with ultramarine blue to create a warm, inviting shadow tone. Notice how clearly defining this Terminator line instantly establishes dimension and makes it easier to distinguish between areas that sunlight touches and those it doesn't. It's important not to go too dark initially, as there will be opportunities to deepen these shadows further along in the process. I now move on to painting the brightly sunlit areas of her face. I'm mixing Naples yellow and titanium white to create a cold, luminous tone. Once the sunlit side is defined, I carefully shift to the shadow side, the darker area on the left of our Terminator line. Here, I'm using more saturated, warm tones, incorporating rich colors like yellow ochre and touches of cadmium red. This adds vibrant reflections into the shadows, beautifully conveying the effect of sunlight bouncing off surrounding surfaces and enhancing the realism and warmth of the portrait. For most hair areas, I'm using loose, expressive brushstrokes to keep the hair feeling natural and full of movement. However, it's important to pay close attention to areas directly behind or around key features, like right behind the lower half of the ear. I intentionally use confident, clear brush strokes to define the edges sharply. These deliberate marks enhance the dimension and depth of the ear, helping it stand out against the softness of the surrounding hair. When painting female portraits, mastering the blending technique is crucial. Unlike other subjects, the subtlety and softness of female features require smooth, gentle transitions between colors and values. After I've clearly blocked in the initial colors on the face, I take some extra time to carefully blend these areas together. To do this, I typically switch to a larger, very soft brush, one specifically designed for blending, or sometimes even use a clean piece of paper towel. The key is to use a gentle touch, softly brushing or dabbing across the canvas. This technique effectively smooths out any harsh edges or abrupt color shifts, creating subtle, natural transitions. It's especially important to focus on areas like the cheeks, forehead, and jawline, where the soft gradation of skin tones contributes significantly to the overall realism of the portrait. Avoid rushing this stage. Blending takes patience and precision. By thoughtfully merging each color and tone, you're able to capture the delicate nuances of the subject's skin, highlighting its softness and elegance. This meticulous attention to blending elevates your portrait, enhancing both its visual appeal and lifelike quality. Next, let's move on to painting her hand. Now, hands can feel tricky. There's often so much detail, but the secret is to simplify. I'm thinking about the hand as just two main areas, the sunlight side and the shadow side. For the areas catching direct sunlight, I'm applying brighter colors to really enhance that glowing effect. On the shadow side, instead of cooler tones, I'm using warm, rich colors, like burnt sienna mixed with a hint of cadmium red, to capture those beautiful, warm reflections. Approaching it this way makes the hand appear natural and expressive, and ties it seamlessly into the portrait's sunny atmosphere. The main thing I'm always thinking about is capturing the feeling of warm, atmospheric sunlight. Each brushstroke, every color choice, is deliberate. It's all about reinforcing that glowing, luminous effect. Sunlight isn't just about bright highlights. It's about creating a believable environment where the warmth of the light subtly influences every aspect of the portrait. One thing I constantly remind myself is to keep the highlights clean and fresh. Especially when painting sunlight, muddy or dull highlights can quickly ruin that beautiful luminous effect. To avoid this, I'm regularly cleaning my brush, wiping it thoroughly before mixing new colors. This little habit might seem minor, but it goes a long way in maintaining clarity and vibrancy in your painting. Another challenge at this stage is resisting the temptation to jump straight into small details too soon. It's easy to lose the bigger picture, the overall impression of sunlight, when we get caught up in refining tiny areas prematurely. When I feel myself starting to get too detailed or unsure, I'll always take a step back from the canvas. This distance helps me reassess the painting as a whole, ensuring I'm still clearly conveying the warm, inviting atmosphere I've envisioned. Now, as I refine the painting further, I'm carefully working on transitions between the lights and the shadows, especially around key areas like the face and the hand. With sunlight, these transitions are usually soft and gradual, gentle shifts rather than harsh contrasts. By blending these edges thoughtfully, I'm able to create a sense of depth and realism, making the subject feel alive and three-dimensional. Let's apply our brightest highlights, carefully mixing titanium white with subtle warm tints. Placing these strategic highlights precisely where sunlight hits vividly brings out luminosity and a heightened sense of realism, elevating the overall portrait dramatically. As we near the end of the painting, I frequently step back again to evaluate the composition and overall balance. At this stage, subtle adjustments make a significant difference. I'll ask myself questions like, is there enough contrast to keep the viewer interested? Are there edges that could be softened or sharpened to better guide the viewer's eye? These thoughtful tweaks ensure everything harmonizes, reinforcing the warm, sunny narrative we've aimed for since the beginning. I hope you found this insightful and inspiring. Please like and subscribe for more tutorials. Keep practicing, stay inspired, and happy painting.